again, everyone. This is Alex from CSUN, and I'm going to be going over with you today how to record a Zoom session and upload that to Box and share it back on Canvas with your class. This might be beneficial to some of you who might want to host a review session before midterms or finals. You can schedule a Zoom meeting and let your students know, and they can all join onto the meeting and ask questions if they have any, if they were to have any questions before an exam comes up. What's nice about this is that you can also record this, and in case you have any other students or students in other classes who were unable to make the live meeting, you can make the recording available after the fact, or you can make the recording available for students, even if they were on the live session, to be able to go back and listen to again to review. Students think this is a pretty awesome feature. Technically, I think this is lecture capture. So if you want to figure out how to do a self-start type of lecture capture, this is exactly what I'm going to be going over in this video. So again, we went over before how to download and sign in starting with Zoom. What we are going to be utilizing today is Box, and then also taking this file that we upload to Box, the recording from Zoom, and putting that into Canvas. So that might sound like long process, but it's actually pretty simple. So I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. If we were to start this meeting that I have, my meeting here, I'm going to go ahead and click start from Zoom. Simple as 1, 2, 3. How's it going, everyone? I'm going to go ahead and click I'm actually not going to join the computer audio right now, and I'm going to turn my video off. But this is basically what you're going to be doing. Is right here, you're going to want to come over to record and hit record on this computer. Again, we do not have cloud recording enabled as part of our campus license, so this just shows up that way because I'm an admin on the account. But I do not use cloud recording. I record to my desktop, and then I load everything onto Box so that I don't have to take up space on my storage, or take up storage space on my computer. So I'm going to continue without audio for the sake of this demonstration, but typically you would want to have the audio joined using the computer audio, your microphone that's built in, and you would also probably want to have your video on, but again, that's not mandatory, it's optional. You could totally have office hours with a student and just be chatting like you would be over the phone, but you can use Zoom for the sake of being mobile, not giving out your personal phone number, and being able to still communicate with students, whether it's a video conference, whether it's just a voice chat through Zoom, or whether or not you want to actually open up the chat box if you have any students with accommodation needs, and if you maybe are not able to get a live captionist or get an interpreter, especially under the circumstances right now where we're all going to be remotely working. I don't know how that is going to be working out as far as that, but in case you wanted to have office hours with anyone, you could be able to say, hey, how are you? And students would be able to respond back. So you have 3 options. A chat option where you can use text through Zoom. You have the option of using your audio, and again, when you join the audio, I will show you here, you can use your computer audio, which will use your built-in microphone and speakers, or you can select phone call, and this gives you a dial-in number that you can use to call into this meeting. And once you dial in this number, it'll ask you for a meeting ID, and all you have to do is punch in that meeting ID, just like you would if you were to be joining a conference call. So that being said, again, 3 ways: chat, phone call, or the video web conferencing option. So now that we have this video recording here, what you're going to see is that if I were to share my screen, again, let's say I'm just going over let's just say I'm going over a Word document. So I'm going to go ahead and share my Zoom Basics file. And now what you'll be able to see in this recording is, let's see, this file right here, and I have a few windows open, but what you can tell that's a good indicator to see what you're sharing is, as I said in a previous video, when you're sharing your screen, you will see a green box around whatever is being shared. So you might see that around the entire screen, or you might see that around just a specific window. I selected to choose a specific file in a specific program that I had open. And again, in the share screen button, when you click here, this allows you to share whatever you want to share. Again, if you share your whole desktop, that means that you can share everything that's listed here, everything that you have open. Or you can simply select like what I did already, which was just one file, which just goes to show a little bit more of a focused view of what exactly it is that you're talking about. And then that gives you the opportunity to go through and narrate and annotate some different things. Again, right up here you can go to annotate, and I can say, hey, so now that we have gone ahead and talked about this, I am going to put a little check mark next to this, and I'm going to put a check mark here. And so this becomes really useful if you are reviewing a syllabus, going over a project, or anything that you're going to need this function for. So now that I'm going to stop sharing, I'm going to go ahead and end this meeting, and you can pause and record the recording anytime you want to as well. I'm sorry, you can pause and stop the recording anytime you want in the meeting, but also when you go to end the meeting, again, this will ask you, do you want to leave the meeting? So sometimes if you wanted to leave your class and have them continue discussing something, you can leave the meeting as the host and not end the meeting. Or you can end the meeting for everyone, which is the highlighted option. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit end meeting for all. And now you'll notice this box popped up here that says converting meeting recording. So this is going to need to happen after every recording, depending on how long the recording is. Since mine was only a couple minutes, it's going pretty fast. But if you have an hour recording, it may take 5 to 8 minutes or so to load up like that. So now what you're going to see is this video has opened up in a box, which you can see has the date in the folder and is titled My Meeting with the meeting ID in it. So this is a great way that you can always go back if you need to search for something. I can go ahead and just search my meeting, and then if you look up the number, basically if you go to search on your computer, whether it's the Mac way by hitting Command Spacebar, or whether you're using a PC and you're going down to the search bar that's at the bottom of the window next to the Start button, you'll be able to look up these meetings. But to make things simple, which I'm all about, I usually like to take this meeting, which is the MP4. The M4A right here is an audio-only file. Some of you might think that this isn't helpful. You may not need this. The Zoom _0 MP4 file, you'll also notice is the largest file on here. And this basically is an indicator to tell you that this is the video that is the one that has audio and video. So it's a bigger file size because it has both versus just the audio. So now as this is opened up, you can go through and see that in my video, here's my screen share that we're now able to view. And again, I had my mic muted, but normally you would be able to hear everything that was going on in your Zoom meeting here. And you can see that this is just playing back everything that I was sharing, and you can see here my share screen was just the Microsoft Word window. So you can see that the only thing that was recorded in my share was Microsoft Word, not my whole desktop and everything you see in the background. So there's the video. But what's nice about the audio only file, as I mentioned just before, is that if you ever wanted to have a class podcast, I know that there are a couple of professors who do this. They record their class on Zoom every session, and then what they end up doing is instead of having the video, you can record the video if you want as well, and the share screen part of it. But if you wanted to just have the lecture available, you can also take the M4A audio only file, and you can upload this and just have a playlist of audio lectures from your class. And in this case, you can also upload your PowerPoint separately to Canvas if you want the students to be able to sort of self-start and go through the PowerPoint and sort of take notes on their own while also listening to the audio of your lecture. You might think that this sounds like a little bit more of a harder option to put out there for students, but in some experiences that I've had, it seems that that is a little bit more of an engaging way to have the students sort of, put this together themselves. Even though you give them the pieces, they have to put the puzzle together and watch the PowerPoint, listen to the lecture, and then go ahead doing their subsequent follow-up work, as in homework or, a follow-up quiz, whatever it may be. This is just what I like to always point out, that there are two options here, the video and the audio to show everything, which would be the lecture capture version, or you have just the audio file, which is just the lecture, which you can also upload to Box as I'm about to show you. So if you want to go ahead and start out by trying a Zoom video and a recording on your own, go ahead and try that and see if you can just get to this point. Okay, so now it's time to start uploading your video file to Box. Again, like we did before with Zoom and Canvas, we're going to start here on the CSUN homepage and go ahead and click on Box. Go ahead and then click Continue. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm already signed in. So if you're not signed in, it'll ask you, are you a part of CSUN Box? Go ahead and click Continue. And then it will ask you to enter in your CSUN login information, which you can go ahead and do. And once that logs you into your Box folder, many of you probably won't have any files in here yet, but I went ahead and created a sample file to start with. And I just titled that Zoom recordings, and I added my little class section, IT 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once we're in here, if what you're going to want to do yourself is go up to click New and click New Folder and create a folder and give it a title, just like I did. So you can make something, just say Zoom recordings with your class description next to it if you have multiple class sections, just to keep it simple. And now you can see in the Zoom folder, in the Box folder, you have multiple options to upload just by clicking the button and selecting a file. Or you can also drag and drop things into this blank space here. You can also upload Word documents and Excel spreadsheets. So the nice thing about that is you can put in instructions, you can put audio files, videos, PowerPoints, basically anything you want to start in here. You can put all together and create as one folder. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take my Zoom recording, my MP4 file, and I'm just going to drag and drop it here into the folder. You can see down at the bottom it's uploading, goes through pretty quick, and it's completed, and it will show up right here just like this. And so now I also have these notifications up here that says it was successfully uploaded. So you can then go from here and share this folder. So what you're going to do is click Share this folder. There's a few things I want to go over here. Down here I have clicked Enabled the Share link, and this will probably be off like this. So what you want to do is go ahead and click Enable Shared Link, and you want to look at the link settings, and if you want to set a day for the link to expire, you can do that. Or you can go down here and click Allow Download. You can either allow students to download this material or say, no, I do not want them to download that. I would say, as best bet, you probably can go ahead and let the students not download anything. But they will be able to come to this site to be able to watch the videos. So right here you can now see that this changed and says can view only. And then right here, who can view only? People with the link, which means that that's basically public. People in your company, which means anybody within CSUN. Or invited people only, which is people that you can enter into this box right here, which is like a 1-by-1 basis. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and leave it as is with people in your company. And now you can see that we have a shared link here, and we're going to go ahead and copy that. So now we will go over into our Canvas module. And I had created a new module and called it Zoom Recordings, but I'm going to go ahead and delete this and do it over again because I messed up a couple of things, and I'm going to just go through that process again because I am learning as well. So I'm going to go ahead and call this Zoom Recordings. And as you remember in the previous video, I created this module for the Zoom live sessions. I included instructions, a link for the office hours session, and the meeting ID below. You need one or the other, the link or the meeting ID. And then right here is a class group link for you to click on, or for the meeting ID here as well. So again, there's two different meetings I have set up, and I just included twice as much information. This is just sort of a backup in case the link happens to not work. The students will be able to go into Zoom and simply go to the home page and click join and punch in that number. So now I created this new module called Zoom Recordings, and this is going to be where we're going to store all of our recorded Zoom videos. So for this module, instead of a quiz or an assignment or a file, what I'm going to do is go ahead and create an external tool. And now you will see here that a list has populated, which brings up a bunch of different things, resources that we use here at CSUN. And you can see Box is the second one. So I'm going to go ahead and click Box here. and it is going to ask you if you want to link your external Box tool. So this is basically the part where we're going to kind of complete a handshake and allow your Canvas account and your Box account to work together. So you might have to go ahead and enter in your password from this point as well. And that's all you have to do is, again, use your single sign-in, your SSO, to just link the account. And now I'm going to go to select from Box. So in here is a whole list of all of my Box folders again. I'm going to go down to the bottom, and as you can see here, my Zoom recordings for this particular example is right here. Now I am going to click over here on the circle to add this whole folder, which will, copy whatever is also inside the folder as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click choose, and now you can see that there's a little URL that popped up down here automatically, and I'm just going to now hit add item. And so you can see that there is now a link that has popped up next to this heading, and as I click on the heading, that will bring me into this folder. And for security purposes, drag the white cloud into the dark cloud, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Boom. And now here we are in the Box folder, and there's my Zoom recording. So now if we go back to modules, we have the access links to the live Zoom session, so whenever it's the day and the time for that to start, students just have to come into Canvas and literally click here, and that will start them off, and it will launch their Zoom application and take them directly into that meeting. But as a backup, if for some reason the link doesn't work for any of the students, the Zoom ID is here again to go ahead and punch that in. But then afterward, once the Zoom recordings are done, all you have to do, like I just did before, was drag and drop that recording into your Box folder here. And now that I have linked this into Canvas, anytime I drag and drop a Box folder, anytime I drag and drop a Zoom file, again, a Zoom file like we have right here, anytime I drag and drop that, like here's the audio only file, I will go ahead and put that here, drag and drop it into this folder, and you will see this file now also pop up when I click on my Zoom recordings. So you only need to set up this module in this folder once, and then every time you have a Zoom meeting and you record it, you just have to drag and drop it into here. Now the difference, I believe I may have explained before. If not, I will go over that really quickly now. The MP4 is a video and audio file, so that's exactly what you're going to want to watch. And again, here I can open this up and you'll be able to see my example that I did. Here we go. And so now you can see that I had shared my screen and I didn't have my audio on for this video, but just for the sake of an example, you'll be able to see here when I went in to share my screen and I was talking about my Microsoft Word file. Students will be able to see this, open up this and full screen it, and here we are with my tutorial now of the recorded session that I just uploaded onto Box and shared in Canvas. So students will definitely be able to access this just the same and be able to go through. Some will be able to actually change the speed down here. If there's anything that's going too fast, you can actually change the speed just like a podcast. So what I was saying before as well, going back to the previous file, this is now the audio only file. And the nice thing about having an audio only file is now if you wanted to create like a podcast of class lectures, now you have your podcast material already there for you. And if you come into Zoom, come into Box, go down to more actions and click rename. You can type in podcast and write audio only, and we can save that. And then I'll go here to rename this file, and the Zoom _0 file, I'm going to say Zoom recording 3/12/2020, because that was the day that I recorded that. So, oh, you know what? Let's see here. I'm just going to fix that real quick. No slashes in the title. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. So now you can see that March 12th, 2020, that's the Zoom recording for this session. So all you have to do is just type in Zoom recording to differentiate whether or not it's the audio or the Zoom recording. And then you can see here the date for that meeting. And if I were to have more of those, you would be able to see a ton of Zoom meetings and the dates for when those class sessions corresponded to those meetings. So if you come back over here and I refresh this page now, you will see, let's see, let me drag this one more time. And you will now see the titles reflected here. So the students can come in and very quickly access the file that they want to go back and study with and listen to or watch. So if you would like to go back again to modules, I just want to make sure that you publish this and make sure that that is live and ready to go. And otherwise, this is how you start teaching online, setting up a Zoom session, providing the instructions and the links here. And then after the fact, this is optional, but if you would like to provide the recordings for students, now I have shown you how to upload those recordings on Box, which will also keep a lot of these files. You can store them on Box. Again, we all have 50 gigabytes of storage on Box, so that's tons of video space that you can put up, and that also keeps these videos from taking up space on your personal computer. So I just wanted to go over that, and hopefully now you will all be able to try this on your own. So go ahead and either pause right now and try this yourself, set up a new module, try and use the external URL and external tools. Again, when you create a new module, just go to the drop-down menu, and the bottom two right here will be an external URL. That's the one you're going to want to use to link a upcoming Zoom session, and then the external tool is what you're going to want to use to link a recorded Zoom session from Box. So that wraps it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I answered as many questions as possible, but I will be hosting a live Zoom webinar coming up next week, I believe, over spring break, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. So if you have any further questions, hopefully I can catch you at one of those times, and I can address more in-depth questions and more processes and things to do for teaching online at that point. So thank you again for watching, and good luck, and I hope this gets set up pretty easily for you all, and that's it. Thanks so much.